And welcome immediately back to the people stage. And I am so excited for our next presentation. We are going to be welcoming Shawnda Williams from Girl Gang Garage. They do remarkable work in automotive and increasing who we see involved in that industry, which, as we know, is often very male dominated, as are so many sectors. But Shonda and her team at Girl Gang Garage are incredible leaders in this area. So Shonda, I'd like to welcome you to the stage now. And you know what? The stage is yours.
Awesome, thank you. So as Sarah mentioned, I am Shawnda Williams. I am one of the co-owners with Girl Gang Garage. And I want to take you guys through, I think it's an exciting presentation, share a little bit about who we are, what we do, and some exciting things that we are getting into with 3D printing. So I'd like to begin with this labor statistic. According to the 2020 US Bureau of Labor Statistics, women only account for 1.4% of total automotive service technician and mechanic jobs in the United States of America. Now, I want you guys to really chew on that for a second, because most industries are averaging around 48%. Now, this doesn't extend to all of automotive. This is specific to service technicians and mechanics. So when you take your car to the dealership, these are the people who are assisting you and working on your cars. This is even more staggering, and this is actually the lowest the statistic has been since 1999. A lot of this is attributable to COVID-19. When that happened, a lot of these women were left with no choice but to kind of return home to make sure that their kids were getting the appropriate amount of education. And some people just left the industry because of the risk. This staggering statistic is a big reason why Girl Gang Garage has kind of come to exist and was a driving inceptor to who we are. So, who are we? By simplest definition, we are an automotive shop and educational facility. We exist to provide women of any age access to low cost or free training, and an opportunity, above all, to explore many of the different opportunities within the skilled trade industries. These are welding, automotive service and repair, paint, body, you name it. The driving motive is just to get out there, put your hands on tools, and really explore the opportunities that many of us were never actually afforded as we were growing up.
Your slides aren't showing. It's still in the initial one if you wanted to be advancing.
Oh, really?
Okay, now we're on. So what is Girl Gang Garage? Thank you so much.
So Girl Gang Garage originated based on the idea that my business partner had. She is a long-term industry mainstay. Her name is Bogie Latiner. She is a 20-year automotive service technician. She's BMW trained, and she's also a star of a couple of different popular TV shows on Motor Trend Network, one of which is All Girls Garage, and then the other one is Garage Squad. So she recognized the growing disparity that existed within the industry, where there just were not a lot of opportunities for women. And the women that were working within the industry, they felt and operated within scarcity. They felt often like they were the only, and they didn't have a lot of opportunity to connect with other women out there. So in response to that, she was like, what can I do to make and create change? So she started a project called Chevy Montage, which we'll get into a little bit later in this presentation. And from that, that's how I came to be in contact with her and be aware of the issues that were kind of existing within automotive, and work together with her. And that was kind of the foundation of which Girl Gang Garage was founded upon. So now we're operating based out of Phoenix. We have about 500 women who participate annually throughout our different events. We've got monthly classes and workshops, and we do these wild and crazy things called all-female builds. And that's really where the additive manufacturing element has really kind of come in to be main stage into what we're doing. So our three major tenets are around inspiring, empowering, and champion women. So from the inspiration standpoint, we're really centering around helping create opportunities for women in the trades to connect. So oftentimes a lot of the women who kind of come to our shop, the first thing that we hear out of their mouth is, I have never worked with another woman. I feel like I'm the only. So by having this place and creating events and activity to attract other women, women are able to kind of connect and commiserate with other women who kind of are working in similar disciplines to them in the industry. Empower, we provide women of all ages access. We try to keep all our opportunities free or low cost for participation. So we don't have to continue along this road of being pushed away from joining dad in the garage, or whatever the situation was, the shop class that you wanted to try that you were turned away from. We're providing those opportunities for women of any ages to really kind of get in there and get their hands dirty. And the final piece is champion. We want to showcase a lot of the incredible women that exist within the industry. We believe strongly in the adage that if you can see it, you can be it. And without those representations existing, a lot of women aren't understanding the real opportunities that kind of exist. So how we started was around the Chevy Montage build, and this happened in 2017. Basically, this is well before our business existed. This was Bogey with an idea, and her idea centered around, like, I just want to showcase and highlight the different women who are out here in the industry doing what I do, and maybe create an opportunity for connection. And if I'm able to, like, bring in some other women who have never had an opportunity to kind of explore the trades in the same way that she had. So conversely to that, she also was running into a thing that I think a lot of us who are listening to this talk today can identify with. She had ascended to the point where she was running a shop. She wasn't hands-on on the shop floor working every day. And she missed that tactileness. She missed the getting her hands dirty. She missed that hand element that attracted us to these disciplines. I know I personally go through that myself. Like, I don't work within the automotive industry. I'm a career technologist. I work in human-centered design. And a lot of what attracted me to my profession was the hands-on aspects. And as I have ascended through the ranks, I've lost that myself. So creating a place where people can really just be hands-on, we could be tactile, we could use our hands, was a lot of what motivated Chevy Montage. So with that vehicle, it was a 1957 Chevy pickup truck. And one of the big things that we try to do is be provocateurs, attract attention, be disruptors in a conscious way. So Bogey, as a BMW trained technician, was like, what better way than to put a V8 BMW engine into the Chevy truck? Now, if you're not a car person, you have to understand that there are loyalties that exist. Like, you put a Chevy engine in a Chevy truck, and if you kind of want to be audacious and provocative, maybe you put a Ford engine in a Chevy truck. But putting a BMW engine in is completely unheard of. So in addition to that, upon completion, this was also the largest US-based all-female build done to date. And we attracted 90 women from throughout the United States. 30% of them had no previous automotive experience. And this is a picture of all the ladies who were able to attend. This was us at the unveil at SEMA, which is the largest automotive trade show. It's equivalent of like the Super Bowl of trade shows within the car industry. So fast forward to today, we're on our third all-female build. Following the success of Chevy Montage, I sat down with Bogey and we decided to move forward in the direction of creating this into a repeatable model and formulating this into a business. So we did our second all-female build, which is the yellow truck that you're seeing on the bottom right-hand corner. That one is called High Yellow 56. We unveiled that at SEMA in 2019, and now we've moved on to our third all-female build, which is really what's going to bring the additive manufacturing 3D printing element into focus. So these pictures just kind of encapsulate a little bit of the experiences the ladies who come into our space experience. They are not just sitting around, you know, doing small pieces. We're teaching people how to weld. We're teaching people how to cut metal. And as I mentioned earlier, this opportunity is open to women of all ages. And at the picture in the center, it's a picture of a mother and daughter working on our first all-female build together. There's nothing more inspiring than creating learning opportunities that can be shared between mothers and daughters working together. There's something invaluable about being able to learn something and have those first time experiences together. It's extraordinarily empowering. So, as I've been alluding to, our third build is going to be centered around a 1961 Volvo PV544. Naturally, we do try to stimulate buzz and a little bit of create some fodder for conversation. So this isn't your typical car. It's not something that's highly coveted or collected. And when the opportunity kind of came across our plate, I was thinking it was going to be like the cool Volvo that maybe you've seen in some of the Bond films, but it turned out to not be that. This is a little bit of an oddball car. Like the front end of it looks like a 1940s Ford. The rear end of it looks like a Volkswagen Bug. So that's what you're seeing on the left. So on the left is the PV544. On the right is a modern 2019 Volvo S60. And at this point, I'm sure the wheels are turning for some of you who are maybe engineers or industrial designers, because in this opportunity, we were approached by Volvo USA, and they were in a position to sponsor us. So what they did was they lent us a modern car, because one of the big challenges, how are you going to power it, and what kind of suspension are you going to use? So in our case, there's not a lot of options running around for Volvos. So to do a body swap seemed like an ideal opportunity. So that is kind of the place that we're in now. And one of the biggest things that we struggle with car restorations is the sourcing of parts. And that is probably one of the key things that 3D printing has really like blossomed and lent the automotive restoration world, is the ability to make these hard to find parts. But in addition to that, because we're doing something that's pretty audacious, and we're essentially creating a chassis from the modern Volvo. So we're taking away the doors, the sides, all the pieces, and we're stripping it down to just the platform that it sits upon. We're keeping the engine and we're keeping the suspension on this modern car, and we're going to stack our old car on top of it. So the pictures that you can see on the left is kind of where we started. The one at the top is when we had essentially whittled it down to our chassis, and the picture in the center is where we are today. So we've mated the two cars, old and new, together. And as you can see, there's a ton of need and opportunity for 3D printing. And these are just some pictures of the deconstruction process as it was taking place. And if that was not enough, because we want to be timely and because we want to be relevant, this car is also a hybrid. So it is an electric powered car, which is super timely right now with President Biden citing the executive order about wanting all cars to shift to electric by 2030. So it just is opportunity after opportunity, but there's a lot of complexity with each one of these opportunities. It's an obscure car. We are putting two things that clearly don't belong together, and we're also trying to account for the hybrid technology that exists within it. We want to leverage a lot of the existing tech from the modern Volvo. So what we've done is partnered pretty strategically with some heavy hitters in the 3D printing space: Stratasys, Autodesk, PADT, Women in 3D Printing, Rapid Scan 3D, to help us really be able to successfully accomplish this. So for us, it's really kind of opened our eyes into the art of the possible. It's made us kind of really re-evaluate some of the previous builds that we've done to see where there are opportunities to further implement 3D printing throughout our process, and to really look closely at the opportunities that exist for us utilizing this technology with everything that we're doing. It's not just as simple as just making a part. Like, we really are in a place where with this new Iron Maven build that we have the potential to kind of just make something that just doesn't exist naturally in nature. And for us to be able to successfully do that and bridge the gap with all the complexities it's going to present, it's some really thoughtful, imaginative thinking. And 3D printing has really provided us a foundation to just, the sky is the limit. Like, we can truly stand behind, if you dream it, you believe in it enough, you can make it happen and realize it, because of what 3D printing is providing us in terms of feasibility to be able to really just dream audaciously and make some tremendous contributions. And that's the close. So with that, I will jump over and see what kind of questions I'm getting in. So do you guys plan on doing an old model vehicle to EV swap? That's a big one people are getting into right now. And it would be so cool to see a group of women swap an EV motor into an old muscle car. I think that is something potentially down the road. I know that's something that I particularly am excited about. I mean, right now, Tesla has a kit that's available out that you can do that type of thing with. And it's something that I think we may eventually try to explore. I think right now, this car is probably the closest that we're going to get to doing that, where we're taking an old car and we're effectively doing a really massive EV swap with the hybrid drivetrain that exists within the S60. So another question that's come in is, what happens to the cars once the build is finished? That's a terrific question. So the cars have become the greatest marketing tool that we could ever hope for. We take them to schools, we take them to car shows to really show exactly the power of what can be produced when you pull together a group of people around a common cause. I think I could stand in front of a group of men of any generation and I could tell them women can build cars too, and maybe half of them would believe me. But when I am having that same conversation with a beautiful mint 56 Chevy pickup truck behind me, the conversation is different. The conversation is apologetic, and the conversation is really open to hearing who we are and what we are trying to do and what we're trying to achieve with a lot of the initiatives that we have going around creating these opportunities for women. And another question I have coming in, are you planning to print only end-use parts or mold tools as well? I think we're probably going to do a mixture of both, to be honest with you. If I back up a slide, what Bogey is holding in her hands is a 3D print of a door handle. We actually plan to 3D print the physical door handles for this car. We're trying to leverage the keyless entry that exists within the modern S60 on this old PV. So naturally, to do that, there is nothing that exists. We can't use the old door handles. So right now, we're working with some awesome women who've come to us via Women in 3D Printing. who are helping us really design our own custom door handle. I think additionally, we will definitely be using this for some mold making, because the front end of the car, as it currently exists, is going to have to be completely rethought to accommodate the additional 8 inches of width that we've picked up with the larger footprint that we're sitting upon. Another question that's come in is, how are we able to connect regarding this project and others on what we're doing at Girl Gang Garage? So we are across all different social channels. You can reach us on Instagram at Girl Gang Garage, Facebook at Girl Gang Garage, or via our website. And within our website, if you go to our homepage, there's a link that directly pushes you toward a sign up to participate with us in our current builds. And the build that we have going right now is going all the way through November of this year. So there's ample opportunity for you to come out and participate. And like I said, it is completely free for anyone of any skill level to kind of come with us and be a part of this. Another question I have coming in is, how do you afford not to charge, or to charge very little for participants? Are parts expensive? You are not lying. This is a very, very expensive, and this is totally a business that is fueled on passion. And how we're able to afford this is through a lot of generous donations from sponsors, a lot of like really creative thinking in terms of money generation. But yeah, like, we are monstrously passionate about, even if it's money out of our own pockets, to keep this going, because it is the most difficult step that people kind of take in trying this, is the first step through the front door to come into Girl Gang Garage. Beyond that, I think it becomes a wonderful melting pot of different people from different walks of life getting to know each other and connecting on levels that you never knew were possible. And the value of having that being free and having that be accessible is really what drives and has become like the heart and soul of everything that we do at the shop. And I don't like to impose limiters to people, and especially not around learning. I think that women as a whole have been limited enough around automotive their entire lives. I can't tell you how many times I've heard the sad story about like, oh, man, I really wanted to try the shop class, but my guidance counselor, these people who are kind of put in the schools to kind of help us, skewed women away because they were like, no, 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 that's not a place for a woman to be. Or the daughter who was interested in working alongside her dad in the garage, who was skewed away and was told, no, 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 this isn't a place for you to be. So we want to be the place that is like, yes, 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 please come in, please participate with us, please learn, please fail, and just be part of a supportive network of people that help you learn and help you explore things. Because I think the best thing that 3D printing has lent us is it's just another avenue of accessibility that we can provide people from a learning perspective, because it's so important. Not everyone wants to kind of come in and get their hands dirty. Some people are just as passionate about the creative aspects of it and have true vision for creating and making in ways that they just didn't understand or have the tools in front of them to do. And 3D printing allows us to give them one more outlet to make with. Because at the end of the day, it's being able to get whatever we have locked up in our heads out into the physical space, and be it through welding, be it through making, be it through printing, however, whatever vehicle you choose, we're here to kind of lay the foundation so that you can do that. And that concludes my talk, and I have no other questions. So again, I just want to reiterate, thank you for your time. And if you do want to come participate with us, check us out online. We are always welcome and excited to have new people come participate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shonda. We're really glad to have had you here for TIPE today. And everyone, Shonda's website, Girl Gang Garage, is in the chat. Shonda, please feel free to drop any other contact information. What you do is incredibly inspiring. And as someone who's not a car person, you make me wish I was. And we welcome you to the networking floor as well to meet any other TIPE attendees and just enjoy some chats throughout the day. We do have a great panel coming up next, so we'll get them on stage in just a couple of minutes here. Thank you all so much.